Afro check. This looked different a few minutes ago. I'm gonna go run some errands soon, and when I get back, this is gonna look marvelous. I think I just need some fresh air and a little wind. So, hi, I'm Joddie. Welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back. If you've been here before, you are most welcome, either way. This is my Microbusiness Diaries series. So I had this idea over 6 months ago and I never did anything with it. I just want to share resources, ideas, what I'm doing, and it's going to be I think pretty broad based. So I have another series on this channel called Money Making Mondays. It was a 6-week series. I'm going to come back and do another version of that. It might be 4 weeks, it might be 8 weeks, and it's going to be more focused on freelancing, which I think I can control in my mind. Whereas the last series was more about, hey, here are these, like I'm throwing spaghetti at the wall, seeing what sticks, and here's how I made money through side hustles and side gigs last week. So the next series will be more focused. This is going to be more broad-based. So I'll be sharing resources like folks that I follow on Amazon or on TikTok that I think might be beneficial to you in terms of business or mindset. You know, I might do a little bit of everything. So for example, I was going to do a trailer, but again, this was going to be a trailer. I sat down to record a trailer, but I've had this idea for months and never did anything with it. So I decided to just start with an episode. Where should we start? At the beginning or at the end? Well, I'll tell you what to expect from this series moving forward. So I will start out with a little intro like this, hey, and then what I want to talk about. So the theme of the day. So I'm actually going to talk about study rooms because it's something I've been meaning to talk about for weeks. You see a theme here. It's not that I don't get things done, but there are things that I have an idea for and then I don't act on it right away, and it gets pushed aside by another idea that I act on. So we're going to talk about study rooms and free places that you can study or work. Basically find free Wi-Fi. That's what I mean by free places. And I'm going to give you someone to follow that I follow and I recommend. And then I want to also share an Amazon find. So I'm an Amazon associate and Amazon influencer, and so I always want to share stuff. I'm not sure about this outfit. Should we do a MICROFIT check? I don't know. So it's a white t-shirt and corduroy button down. The corduroy is from South Korea. It's a brand called Florence and Fred, I think, but maybe you can find it here. I've had this shirt many, many years. It's probably 10 years old. The white t-shirt, I'm blanking on a brand. If I can find a link, I'll put it in the show notes. MAC. This is High Drama. That's on my lips. Why am I doing a fit chick? I don't know. Fit chick. Why am I doing a fitness check? And I have on Adidas I can't fit my legs, but you'll have to take my word for it. Wait, can you see? These look like 1980s spandex. I'm wearing Adidas. Yes, I know what 1980s spandex look like because I was there. Okay, let's move on. So that's the layout. That's the plan for today's episode. I got distracted. Let's do a quick Amazon find. It is Christina Lauren's In Holiday Days. I don't know if you know this, but Christina Lauren, they're two people. They're two friends, authors, and they write together. I think their pictures it's in the back of the book. So I got this book a few years ago when it first came out. I did pre-order it. It's a time loop book during the holidays, during the Christmas season. Time loops are like my favorite. They're my favorite. If there is a book or a movie or a TV show that has a time loop, I have watched it, or it's in my queue, or I'm about to buy the book. And I'm making it sound like if it's ever been out there, I've purchased it, which is not true. But I've purchased a fair bit, and this is one of them. Highly recommend. I literally planned my evenings around this book when I got it. I had like a hot drink. I was all wrapped up. I love this book. I've read it like 2 or 3 times by now. Okay, let's get into today's theme, which is study room. So during the summer, I think it was in August, I had a one-on-one with the wonderful Michelle Jackson of Creators Getting Paid. She's on Substack. Link will be in the description. We talked about many, many things, but one of the ideas that she shared with me was the idea, I can't believe I never thought of it, of going to the public library and booking a room, reserving a room and working there. It never ever occurred to me. Over the last few months, several months, I've done co-working with a friend at a cafe, which was great. You know, we would like chitty chat to start out with, and then we would get to work. But as wonderful as the cafe was, there were a couple of downsides. Number one, I can be a little squirrel. You know, obviously with my MICROFIT check, right? So with people walking in and out of the cafe, and of course, I would be facing the window. I'd be looking out the window. I would get distracted. And it would sometimes be really loud because it's a good cafe, the cafe we go to, and it's popular. So it would get loud, it would get crowded, there'd be long lines behind me. The other downside was just walking in the door, I was already like, okay, that's $10 gone. And that's like a drink and a little dessert. And then if you get something more, or if we want something heavier and you get breakfast, it adds up. So I started going to the public library once or twice a week. It's free. I don't know about your library, check it out. But for my library, local library, you don't need to even have a library card. So this is a great idea if you're traveling and you need to get away from your family members, home, not your family members. You just want someplace quiet to work or to study, and you can do that. So at my library, you can book for 2-hour increments, and it's a editing Joddie. See if you could put a photo in somewhere. It's a small conference room that fits 4 people, I would say, comfortably, and it has a whiteboard. There is a huge monitor, so you could cast things from your laptop or maybe even your tablet. I'm not sure about your tablet, on the screen if you want. How I do it, I go in, the first thing I do is spray, because I bring like a little cleaning fluid or alcohol prep pads. I clean the table and the chair I'm going to sit on, because I'm not going to use all 4 chairs. And then I take all my stuff out. I have my laptop. I have I'm like looking at my notebooks, pens, and it depends. I set my laptop, but sometimes I just bring my tablet because I just need to sit down and finish a course that I paid for that I haven't finished. So depending on what I'm working on that day, I will bring a tablet or the laptop. In the beginning, I bought everything, and I'm going to show you something. This is a digital travel scale from Travel Inspira. I'll put the link in the show notes. Actually, I have an idea list on Amazon in my Amazon storefront, and it has everything that I bring, or almost everything that I bring to the study room. I don't bring this, but this is a good idea if you feel like your bag is too heavy, or maybe you don't even need this. If the bag is too heavy, you will feel it. So my first day going to the study room, the library is a decent walk, not too far. It was too far with that bag. I had too much stuff. It was like 2 notebooks, the laptop, the tablet, pens, snacks, because you can eat in the study room. But at my library, they're like, you can eat, but it can't be, which is fair, it can't be anything like with a strong scent. I feel like when I use the word scent, it's better than smell. That might be, do you have time for a quick aside? I studied Korean for a few years, and I also lived in South Korea, but there are like 2 different words. If you've studied Korean too, correct me if I'm mistaken, but there's like a word for like a scent and a word for a smell, and the distinction is like one is stinky. Am I right? Anyway, squirrel. Anyway, so I had too much, and after that I really started, I was like, you know what, I have this travel scale, it's time to get this out, because if you're not driving, especially if you're not driving and you're walking with all this stuff, it's too much. I've seen TikToks with people using like carry-on luggage for their stuff. Have you seen that? I think we're doing too much. Years and years and years ago, there was a news report. I remember it was a New York City local TV station, and they went to the subway station and they randomly stopped women and they were like, "Can we wear your bag?" And it was like really surprising, but not that surprising. Like women walking around, folks. But at the time, I remember they had stopped women. Like with over 25 pounds, 10 pounds. It's a lot. It's a lot. Anyway, so I had all of this stuff and it was too heavy. And so I've pared it down quite a bit, and it depends on what I'm doing. What I love about the study room is it's 2 hours, and I usually get there late, but it's a very productive 2 hours. I am laser focused. Once I clean the table and I get my stuff out, whatever my task is, I get it done. And it's much quicker than when I'm trying to work from the cafe or trying to work from home. So to bring it all home and sum it up, if you are traveling or if you want to try someplace different that is free and has free Wi-Fi and some resources, because they give you like dry erase markers, there's the board. If you want to see what you're doing on a larger screen, you can cast to the monitor. I recommend study rooms at your local library. And I actually met my friend there one day too, and it was the same. It was as effective. And I don't feel like we chatted as much as we did at the cafe, because when you get to the cafe, you got to order your drinks, you're saying hi, you're checking in with each other, and maybe eating and getting settled. And with the library, I felt like we got down to business. Okay. Free places to study or work remotely. These are just some ideas. Some I've tried, some I haven't. These aren't in order of importance. And what I'm focusing on is free Wi-Fi. I don't know why. Oh, I wrote down free places. That's why I keep saying it. So your apartment building. If you live in an apartment building, you might have a resident lounge or an events room, and it might have free Wi-Fi, or you might have free Wi-Fi in the lobby. Depending on the time of day and whether or not you can book that space, it might be a good idea to work in that space and change things up. Gyms, rec centers, I've noticed, have free Wi-Fi. And I've been to a rec center that has like a cafe area and seating areas in different parts of the rec center, and there is free Wi-Fi available, and you can work from there. Now, because it is a rec center, depending on the time of day you go, it might be too noisy, but it's an option. Museums tend to have free Wi-Fi, and again, depending on the time of day you go or the day of the week, it can be very quiet. I feel like I'm missing something. There were like 3 or 4 places that I wanted to share. So libraries, museums. Sorry, I keep feeling like I'm going to get the hiccups. Libraries, if only I'm not going to edit it. Let's just keep going. Libraries, museums, rec centers, your apartment building. Another idea I had was like a house swap. If you have a friend that works remotely or tends to study from home, you could swap houses, and you don't have to literally swap. Like maybe you all study at your home today or work from your home today, and then the next day or next week you go to that other person's home. I think a change of scenery sometimes really helps. That's been my experience. So if like you have an interview and you don't love this space behind you, or you know that your friend has like a great view or a great setup, that's another idea. So those are some ideas. I think I'm missing something, so I will put it in the description let me see. I'm going to take a moment to think out loud. Wheels turning. I feel like there was someplace else. Museum. Oh, some parks. This may or may not work, but some parks outdoors, weather permitting, some parks do have free Wi-Fi, so that's something else to consider. And for museums, yes, you have to pay to enter. Asterisk, please see below. Most museums have a free day or free hours, so check that out. So it'll keep costs down. So I think I covered everything. So last but not least, I have a follow for you, Jessica Williams, also on Substack. Substack seems to be a theme today. I have recorded a couple of podcast episodes about her and her services. This is not an affiliate. I'm such a fan of hers. She has a newsletter, cracking my knuckles. She has a newsletter, weekly newsletter, where she talks about side hustle ideas, and a slice of her life, which I love slice of life and behind the scenes. And so I'm always happy when she shares what's going on with her. I think that's what I'm trying to attempt to do on YouTube and with my podcast, like sharing a little bit in hopes that it resonates with someone or it's helpful in some way. So some of the things that Jessica talks about on her Substack, and I'll put her website as well because I've purchased her some services or courses, and I'll go through that real quick. But what she talks about is I think part of her ministry, my words, not hers, is not, I think, this is her claim to fame, but I'm going to say it how I say it. So she does talk about side hustles, but she doesn't believe you have to turn your side hustle into your life, into a full-time job. I, on the other hand, think like that's okay. Not that she disagrees, but I love her perspective because I don't often hear that. Like from the beginning, I've always heard like, start selling these magic beans and then, oh, you have a beanstalk. So I really respect her vibe and energy. I love her vibe and energy. And I love that she just says like, hey, I really enjoy my side hustle, but that doesn't mean I want to take it into a full-time thing, or that I should. So I started out with Jessica. She has mini pep talks, and it's on Voxer. If you don't know Voxer, it's like WhatsApp, but I would consider it the WhatsApp of businesses, where you message someone, voice note or text. And the way she used it for mini pep talk was almost like a ask me anything, but it was very specific to me. So my first question was around building more of an audience, I think. And that was the first mini pep talk. And then that turned into, I think, another mini pep talk. I'll have links in the description with Jessica, because I think I did a better job of sharing my story and how much I admire her when it comes to Jessica and what she does. And I also booked the Side Hustle in a Day with her earlier this year. So we talked about side hustle ideas. So a lot of things that I'm doing lately came out of conversations that I had with Jessica earlier in the year. And I'll be talking about some of those things that went from idea to, something I could hold in my hand, or, something that's available online. And then more recently, she has a great mini course called Side Hustle Idea Kickstart. It is brilliant. It's interactive. It's easy. It's like following these breadcrumbs, to the gingerbread house in that way. And it's interactive in that at the end of each module, she has questions. You answer the questions, and then Jessica comes in asynchronously and answers those questions for you, which I just love. So completing that mini course, I came up with 3 side hustle ideas. And one of them is to do a workshop on moving boldly. Like, I think I'm going to call it Bold Move Workshop. But this is one of those ideas that I had that I haven't implemented yet, even though I gave myself a deadline. I think I'm going to put it here on YouTube, and I might put it in Microbusiness Diaries, or maybe I'll create another playlist. But a fun fact about me, I have moved sight unseen 2 or 3 times. Once to South Korea, once to another state. I'm good for that. And I want to share how I did it. So maybe I'll just make a YouTube video, because if there's somewhere you want to live, something you want to do, I think you should do it. And I have some ideas on it. So I'm going to share that again, probably on YouTube. All right. I think I'm going to end here. This is the first Microbusiness Diaries video. I don't know why I'm dancing like this. Let's end here. Thank you so much for watching. If you watched to the end and listening, I am going to put this up pretty much as is. I'll continue to experiment with lighting and the setup. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please like, subscribe, leave me comments, and I will hit you back.